Hi guys, my name's Max. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I just wanted to make a little introductory video today talking about why I've begun investing in sealed Pokemon and Magic cards with a very long-term perspective. I just want to note, I am not a flipper and scalper. Not that I have a problem with people doing that, but that's not what I'm trying to achieve here. I've been putting off making this YouTube channel for quite some time now. Largely, I suppose I would say that's because of imposter syndrome, which, there's good reason for that. I'm new to investing in cards. I don't know anything. I don't even know how to play Magic, to be honest. I was a big Pokemon fan as a kid. That's about as far as my Pokemon knowledge goes as well. But what I do have some experience with is fitting investments into broader contexts. I'm 25, so I was about 15, 16 when Bitcoin sort of went, I would say Bitcoin went mainstream in 2017. And that was when I had my first job. So I did have some money to invest then, and I did go big into Bitcoin. Anyway, this is a story for another day. Long story short, I fucked it up, even though I believed wholeheartedly in the Bitcoin investment. And the reasons I fucked it up were falling for multiple different traps that nearly everyone who got into the crypto market at some stage fell for, and as a result, only a very small few made substantial amounts of money in crypto. Even though looking back, you would think that everyone who got in early would have made a lot of money. I actually don't know anyone that came out with a substantial gain despite the crazy previous 10 years that it's had and the previous 15 years. So I'm going to be taking some lessons from experiences in other markets like crypto and trying to apply them and just give some broader context to the investment philosophy on cards and other stuff as well. But that's sort of where I'm going to be coming from, is just trying to help people not make some of the same mistakes that I've made, and that I can already see, if I'm right about the future of cards, I can already see people making the same mistakes, just manifesting in sort of the card version of all the mistakes I've seen people make in crypto. But anyway, moving on for now. Why am I so excited about the future of cards? Again, this is hard to summarize in just a brief few comments. So we're going to do more videos discussing these topics in depth in the future and breaking down the different reasons sort of one by one, I reckon. But there's a few things. I think we've seen with crypto 10 years ago that younger people wanted something to invest in that they didn't feel like they'd been priced out of, and they wanted something that they could be excited about and be a part of and build something for the future. I remember vividly back then feeling as though I was priced out of equities, real estate, bonds, everything. And I know that was the feeling for a lot of other people. And I think that feeling has only grown deeper since. And I think people have also, people aren't excited about crypto anymore, as we can see by the price. The shit coins are dead. Bitcoin's, half its price. Whether Bitcoin bounces back or not, it's hard to say. Again, discussion for another day. But that's one key reason I'm so excited about the future of cards is people want something to be excited about, something new. Another reason, there is a rampant gambling epidemic. I can speak to this as a previous gambling addict, which, yeah, again, we'll go into this more in other videos. But the card games are no longer just game pieces. They are they are financial products now. We'll look into the business models of some of the bigger companies like Hasbro, Bandai, and the Pokemon Company moving forward. But these products and the way they're designed have changed over the years, particularly the last couple of years. I think the companies have realised that they can make more money if they focus on designing these products to appreciate in valuations on the secondary market, and sort of build in more and more gambling to the product, sort of feed that addiction. And you combine that with the short form content videos on TikTok and YouTube and Instagram Reels, and it's sort of like a bit of a phenomena that's growing, I think. People ripping packs, getting the views, everyone wants views, and then feeding that sort of gambling itch. And living here in Australia, I think we're the worst gambling country in the world. I think we gamble more than anyone. It's been sports betting and all that's been legal here across the country, I think forever. I don't know. It's certainly since I've been an adult. And in a lot of countries like the US, sports betting's only just been legalised now. So this gambling issue is only just getting started. And sadly, I think we can capitalise off that with these cards. And you'll notice at the start of the video I said we're investing in sealed cards, so Pokemon booster boxes specifically, and Magic collector boxes. Big part of the reason for that is, again, the TikTokers and the gambling addicts just ripping these packs open, creating scarcity for sealed product. That's going to be another reason that I'm pretty excited about the future of cards, is true scarcity. No one knows what the next 5-10 years are going to look like. It might not be a drastic change. It may be. We don't know if AI is revolutionary or is it a heap of shit. I'm starting to think that AI is probably bigger than the internet was, and that no one can predict the changes that we're going to see in the coming years because of this technology. So what the hell does that have to do with scarcity? Well, not many things are truly scarce. I think there's a big misunderstanding around scarcity. Let's talk about oil. Just quickly, just a little detour. So 2008, oil prices peaked at, I haven't looked in a while, let's just say $150 US dollars a barrel. And everybody thought, and everyone had been thinking for a long time, that we were running out of oil and we were going to have to find alternatives. Particularly, it was believed, and it was established as fact, that the US was out of oil. The US had gone from the world's biggest oil exporter to the biggest importer of oil, and were totally reliant on oil, particularly from the Middle East. And obviously the prices blew out to reflect the scarcity of oil. And obviously there's a huge demand for oil. What ended up happening was there was a breakthrough in technology. We managed to learn how to extract shale oil from shale rock, which we had known we could extract it, but it was never possible at a commercial, it was never economical to do this. We could never have imagined being able to produce massive amounts of oil from shale. Anyway, thanks to horizontal drilling technologies and it's been a while since I've looked at this stuff, hydraulic fracturing, I believe it's called. Basically pressure hosing, not pressure hosing, but big machines applying pressure to the rock and permeating it, creating small holes that we could extract the oil out of. Bada bing, bada boom, you've got shale oil, and you've got it in large amounts, and it's suddenly economical to produce this stuff. So what do we see from this? Well, we've seen oil prices come down, and if you adjust it for inflation today, oil is about as cheap as it's ever been. We use more of it than ever, and the US, who it was once, just back in 2008, established fact, the US is out of oil. They were reliant on other countries for their oil. Well, the US is now the biggest producer of oil in the world. They're not the biggest exporter, I don't think. I think the Saudis might still have that, but the US, if they're not the biggest producer, they're damn close. All this to say that scarcity sort of depend, as it pertains to commodities, scarcity depends on technology and politics. A lot of gold, silver, oil, copper, whatever the hell it is. It's out there, it's abundant, but we might not be able to get to it for political reasons. The Greens might be getting in the way, or we just don't have the technology yet to get to it. If AI is sort of this groundbreaking technology that it's starting to appear that it could be, well, the technology to extract these scarce resources is going to improve drastically. And, that sort of doesn't leave much in terms of scarce investment choices. So that's one angle on the cards. And I think the true scarcity also, it gives a good risk-reward profile that, I could be wrong about the upside potential of cards, but I think the risk is very minimal over the 10, 15, 20-year period, especially as you start to think more about the uncertainty of the future and the weird times that we live in. For example, let's take Microsoft. Fantastic. I don't like the company, but they make a great business. They've got essentially a monopoly on sort of the corporate back end of the business, like the administrative side of IT infrastructure. Business runs off of Microsoft software. Now, at surface level, an investment in Microsoft over 10, 15, 20 years seems like a pretty reasonable investment, seems pretty safe. And I don't know that I would call it dangerous, but if AI really is going to make such drastic changes, how do we know what Microsoft's product looks like in 5, 10 years in an AI world? We don't. So there is, I would say, some new risk with what has traditionally been safer investments moving forward, which again just increases the favourable risk profile of cards. So that's another reason that I'm excited, and we're gonna keep touching on different reasons in more depth in future videos, because I just want this to be a bit of an introductory video. So obviously we also have Pokemon 30 coming up. There's a lot of hype around this. I was trying to get some pre-orders in yesterday on some of the Australian sites. It was launched on a few sites. The second biggest, I believe, EB Games is the biggest card reseller in Australia, and then probably followed by JB Hi-Fi. I was trying to get them on JB Hi-Fi, and there was that much hype that it brought the whole freaking website down. So no one ended up getting their pre-orders in. I think possibly on Monday that's going to happen again. So there is already a lot of sort of excitement around cards, but I'm not seeing many people talk about the long-term potential of these things. It's a lot of people are just trying to make a quick buck, flipping, scalping. Again, that's back to the gambling problem. So we'll see. I think a lot of these people are going to make a lot of mistakes over the next 10 years and might look back and regret how they've played their card hand, I suppose. Pokemon 30, I think if you can get it, getting a bit on a tangent here, but if you can get it, I mean, you might as well make the most of the hype here. It's going to be hard to get by the looks, but I don't think it's something to stress too much about. That's not really the sort of investments that I'm looking for here. I'm looking more so at back to, you can still get Sword and Shield era booster boxes, Scarlet and Violet booster boxes for similar prices to what some of these new booster boxes are coming out for now, like your Chaos Rising, Perfect Order, all of that stuff. Also, anyone looking to invest right now, I know this is where I'm focusing at the moment, a lot of these Magic collector boxes are just being cleared out at what I think is ridiculous prices. I picked up a few Spider-Man collector boxes the other day. It's an extremely unloved product for about 400 Aussie dollars. I can't remember what price the top card in that set's going for, but it's well and truly over $10,000. So it's when you look at the prices on some of these Pokemon booster boxes, I think the best opportunity right now might be these unloved Magic collector boxes, because none of these $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 Pokemon boxes have $10,000 cards in them. Obviously, there's more to it than that, and the demand and the big IP of Pokemon. But I think there's a lot of potential in these Magic products right now. So that's what I'm focusing on right now. I really like Spider-Man, Turtles, and Avatar collector boxes, mostly because everyone else hates them, and they're being reduced down to clearance from a lot of game stores. So they're dirt cheap. You can buy these new whiz-bang Pokemon boxes that everyone's piling into, and I'm sure in 10, 20, 30 years, that'll be going well. And some of these modern sets, the volatility on them is crazy, and you're going to make some quick money. But if you're buying a Chaos Rising booster box for, I think they're going for about 310 Australian dollars or something, and it goes to 400. Obviously that's good returns, but I think there's way better return potential on these Magic boxes. Like Spider-Man collectors at $400, 400 Australian dollars. I'm pretty sure it peaked at about 1,500 Australian dollars. So we'll see. We'll get a lot into sort of how markets tend to. In future videos, we'll talk about how markets tend to overly discount and overly appreciate products, and why you want to be buying the dip. But anyway, I think, did I have anything else I wanted to cover? I wrote a couple notes here. I think that's good for now for a first video. We'll get into a lot of these topics in way more detail in the future. I've got a lot of other stuff I want to talk about. So, thanks for joining. I'll catch you in the next one.